so much for coming along today. So obviously today's session is around careers in AI and data science, and we've got some really lovely guest speakers to come and have a chat with you today. So what we're going to do is start off with Aden in a few minutes. So Aden's from the Turing Institute. He's going to have a chat with you about careers in AI and data science, roughly for about 45 minutes. And then we've got Joyjit from Reckitt. So Joyjit's going to stand up, come and have a chat to you about his role at Reckitt and what goes on there. And we've also got Ansia, who's one of our lovely graduates as well, who's working at KCOM. So Ansia is going to also give you a bit of a brief as well. So for anyone that doesn't know, I'm from the Career Service at the university. I work as a careers advisor, predominantly in the Faculty of Science and Engineering, but we've partnered with the Department of Data Science today just to talk through and hopefully give you an insight into careers available in the sector. Obviously, lots of opportunities in AI and data science from a range of different backgrounds. So it's a really good opportunity to find out about careers, the options available, and how your various degrees might fit into that. But we've got students in here from a range of different disciplines, hopefully. On the sign up and registration, we had a lot of students signing up from different areas. And actually, you'll see, careers-wise, there are lots of opportunities and specialisms for students from different backgrounds. So it's good that you've come along today to hear a bit about that. During the session, photos will be taken as well. So if there's anybody who doesn't want photos taken, can you please just identify yourself just to let us know? And obviously we can try and make sure that you're removed from those in the process. Okay, cool. Is that okay? Perfect. I'm going to hand over to you, Aden.
My name is Aden from the Turing Institute. So the Turing Institute is the National Institute for Data Science and AI. Have you heard of the Turing Institute? Hopefully yes, but if not, that's totally fine. Feel free to go on the web and search up the Turing Institute. So besides that, I actually, on a day-to-day basis, I work at the University of Oxford rather than Turing Institute. So I am a data manager at the Department of Population Health, which I'm going to talk a bit more about what I do on a day-to-day basis as well. But so today we're going to focus on data science careers in the government and academia. So before we kick off, can you please Google Slido there, S-L-I-D-O, and then when prompt, enter the code. You don't need the hash there, but just how career talk without any spaces. We'll use that as a sort of like an interactive element to the presentation today. Yeah, while you're doing that, we'll just kick off. So that's how career talk, in case you haven't had. Yep. So just to briefly talk about what's the plan for today. I will keep it very brief. It will be around 30 minutes. I'll try to stick it to 30 minutes, and then we'll have like around a 10-minute Q&A at the very, very end. So you'll see me skipping a few slides midway. So generally today, we're going to talk about what is data science, why is diversity important in data science, and careers in data science as well, and some of the examples and sort of routes into careers in data science, and also pointers to some of the resources to support such careers. So we'll just start off with the first slide activity, which is a bit of myth busting about data science and AI. So here are just a few statements about data science and AI. So just have a read of that and just let me know if you feel that's a fact or a fiction. You can just think about it. This is not the Slido one. Sorry, I apologize about that. It will come up very shortly. But yeah, just have a read of these statements, and I'll welcome any volunteers to describe, explain whether you feel these are facts or not facts. So let's go through the first one. Data science involves using data to extract insights and knowledge that can be used to make informed decisions and predictions. Any callers? Yep. Yep, that's correct. It is true. I hope everyone feels the same as well. Second one, data science can be applied in many fields, from healthcare to finance to retail, and can benefit organizations of all sizes. I see a thumbs up over there, and hopefully everyone also feels the same way. Third one, AI is good at analyzing human behavior. Fact, fiction?
Ambiguous.
Depends, ambiguous. Okay, that is correct, actually. I mean, your interpretation is correct. It really depends. I would say AI can analyze human behavior. Whether or not it's good at that, that really depends on the algorithm behind it and what's being fed into the model, essentially. Fourth one, AI engineers will soon create a computer so intelligent that it will replace humans. Ambiguous. Yeah, well, we'll never know what happens in the future. So stay tuned and we'll see. The last one, AI can't be used without human oversight. I see quite a few nods in the theater. So yes, you also feel that that is true indeed. Yeah, it can be. It can be. But to be used sort of correctly and ethically, I'd say, it would need human oversight and human input in that. So I'm just going to point you to one of our videos created by the Aden Kwork Institute about what is data science. I won't play it due to time constraints, but I would highly recommend you to just watch this video. Just go to Aden Kwork Institute, what is data science, and you'll find that it encompasses some interviews with a few stakeholders within the industry and talks about what their views are about data science. Because I'm aware that a lot of you come from different disciplines, from maths, from physics, from biology, so there might be different interpretations and thoughts about data science. So it's good to know what other people feel about that as well. And so I'm just going to open up this Slido activity there. Let's play there. Yep. So here are just a few logos that I think you might have come across in your day-to-day life. Any just sort of insights as to how do these companies actually use data science or incorporate AI into their business or into their industry? Just feel free to just pop your answers onto Slido. Yep, I can see answers popping up. It's on my phone here, so don't worry, you can't see others' insights and thoughts. Yep, here it says, Sylvia says it's for ad or content targeting to predict what people actually see, predictions of what films you like. That's probably for Netflix. Analyze consumer habits, to analyze market behavior and consumer behavior. Yep. That's great to see a lot of thoughts into that. That sort of 21 and more sort of answers. Create the echo chamber. The marketing on Cyber Monday. Yep, that's entirely true, which just happened earlier this week. Any thoughts about healthcare there? There's an image about sort of, well, I'm not going to say anything, how to interpret that. And the use case of medical science, data science and AI in healthcare, any insights on that? Some people say to detect disease, to analyze medical data to inform doctors, to detect tumors, drug development. Oh, very good, very good answers there. I'm just going to pause that Slido there. So yeah, really good insights. And myself, I come from a biomedical background. At the Department of Population Health, we also create and analyze and sort of optimize a lot of these models in order to sort of inform healthcare and improve care for the general population. So a lot of our research focuses on improving these statistical models and making sure they are applicable and they are effective at, for example, detecting tumors or analyzing or identifying the appropriate treatment for our patients. But yeah, I think it's well known that it's applied in everyday life. So I'm just going to skip that quickly. But one of the main reasons for us to be here today is for myself to be here today to talk about diversity in science and the diversity of workforce in science. So this is just a definition from the Royal Society to say that socioeconomic background has a strong effect on an individual's likelihood of entering the scientific workforce. One study conducted by the Royal Society found that the higher of an individual's socioeconomic background, the more likely they're going to work in science. So at the Aden Kwork Institute, we are very committed to diversity and equality. We do want to make sure that as many people across the UK have the opportunity to work in the data science fields. At present, women and Black and Asian ethnic minorities are really, really underrepresented in the scientific workforce, and we really want to encourage that and really, really hope to see that diversity in the workforce. So it's great to see all of you here today participating in today's talk. So I'm just going to go through a few things just as a myth busting about careers in data science. You don't have to work at a big name tech firm like the ones you've just seen on the logos like Netflix or Google. There are lots of opportunities in the government, across industry, also in academia, and there are also other academic institutes around the UK, including Aden Kwork Institute. There are a lot of opportunities for you to use your skills to solve real-world problems, and you can move between academia, government, and industry. And applicants from a variety of backgrounds are welcome. As I said, diversity is really, really treasured. And last of all, you don't really need, for some roles, you don't need a PhD or a master's. So that might be something that you might want to look into. And a lot of the roles that do not require a PhD or a master's are generally ones that really, really value your experience or your transferable skills. So I'm going to talk more about that later on. There's a lot of animations there, but it's just, I'm not going to go through all of that, but just to point out that in your bachelor study or so you start your tertiary education, I'm sure that you have learned a lot of transferable skills and a lot of subject-specific skills. When you're drafting a CV, it might be the case that you're having a hard time to think about what I'm going to do, what roles are there that really, really fits the skill set that you have. But the thing is, there are a lot of skills that are what we call soft skills that generally you do develop during your studies, but sometimes yourself might overlook them. So I would highly recommend that you use your career service at the university to sort of plan out and map and identify the skills that you have and identify sort of the routes and career options out there. So here are just to name some of the roles in data science. There are some of them that might not sound very obvious, or some of them that you might not even heard of that before. I'm not going to name them, but for example, for myself, I just mentioned that I'm a data manager at the University of Oxford. It doesn't really say data manager on here, but I sort of put myself as maybe somewhere in between a research data scientist and a project manager, because I look at the access and the governance of research data, research healthcare data, and also analyze the data to look at trends of diseases and association between diseases. So there are roles out there that sort of lie in between some of these roles listed on the presentation here. Here's just some pointers to some user resources created by the Aden Kwork Institute. We won't play it here. But I would highly recommend you to go onto YouTube and watch this video about myth-busting careers in data science and AI. So the Institute has created a series of videos and presentations and has conducted a range of interviews with stakeholders within the data science and AI industry. So it would be really, really beneficial for you to know their thoughts and what they do on a day-to-day basis. So to the actual careers itself. So we're going to talk about some of the employers out there and some of the options and opportunities out there offered by the range of employers. So we've sort of grouped employers into three categories. Just for the public sector, there are also other employers out there in the private sector, which we're not going to focus in this talk, but I'm sure other alumni or your career services would offer that insights. So the three main categories here will be defense and security, UK government, and the research institute. So for defense and security, there are a range of organizations that work at arm's length of the UK government, including Ministry of Defense, the MI6 and MI5, and the DSTL, which offers a range of roles in defense and security. So if you're interested in that, do have a look at their graduate scheme and some of their ad hoc openings. In terms of the UK government, this is just to name very few. There are a lot of them. So there are ones here, so the Civil Service, the Office for National Statistics, the Health Security Agency, which was only established a few years ago during COVID. There's also, let's say, the Medicine and Healthcare Agency. There's the there's a Medical Research Council. There's the Economics and Social Research Council. There are a range of them under the UK government. So a bit overlap. The Medical Research Council and the other research councils are actually under Research Institute, UKRI over there, UK Research and Innovation. So ourselves, the Aden Kwork Institute, along with the Wellcome Trust, the Health Data Research UK, as well as other institutes like the Francis Crick Institute, are also one of the research institutes in the UK. So in terms of looking at the opportunities out there for you, whether or not you might be a graduate of a bachelor's student or holding a master's or a PhD, there are a range of options out there and opportunities out there offered by all these sectors. So we'll just have a little short break there to have a little diversity check-in. So I'm going to encourage you to open your little Slido again, and I'm going to launch this. Is it working there? There it is. Well, it does say on Slido what comes to mind when you think of the word diversity, but on the screen here, you'll see more of a specific question. How could diversity in data science and AI roles impact society? So here's just a little case study about emojis, but it's just to, as a trigger for you to think about the importance of diversity and the importance of better representation of different groups of people. You can see some answers coming in. Inclusion, different background, expertise, having a broad range of perspective and insights. I like this. It says removing barriers. There's LGBTQ, which is one of the form of diversity that we're looking into. So race, sex, a lot of different backgrounds. It says transformation, a variety of cultural upbringings and experience. I like that. Okay, that's good. I'm going to just pause there. So hopefully from your peers, you've sort of had some thoughts about the importance of what your peers think diversity is. And I'll come to at the very end to just conclude why it's important about diversity in careers in data science and AI. So we'll sort of, I'll not talk too much about that at this stage, but just wait for the very, very last slide or two. So we're just going to do a little slight deep dive into the careers in the three sectors that I sort of mentioned just now. So the first one being the defense and security careers. These are offered by the GCHQ, MI6, MI5, and the DSTL. So there are a range of agencies and organizations in the public sector. Apologies that I really couldn't name some of the acronyms there. I'm not really sure what MI6, for example, actually stands for. But I think that's an acronym for the Secret Intelligence Service over there. Roles in these roles in these organizations really help to keep the UK safe. So if that's an interest, and if that's an interest to you, and if you're interested in sort of challenging yourself and looking into some of the tackling some of the issues internationally and nationally, you might like to look into some of the careers offered by these agencies. Just some quotes about some of the experience that some of the graduates have had at the GCHQ. Some said they really enjoyed the projects, looking at safeguarding the UK, also looking at being challenged, and the fact and acknowledging that cybersecurity is constantly developing day by day. So it's a really challenging role to be in, and making sure that as UK citizens, we're making our very, very best effort to make sure that ourselves, our peers, and the nation is safe. So what are the routes into data science at these agencies? So it includes graduate programs, internships, and graduate roles. You might like to look into that on the website. I won't go through each and single one of them, but I think it's important to note that some roles are only open to British citizens with residency requirements between 5 to 10 years. You do have to go through more sort of stringent security checks, which can be a long process. So it might take some while so you might have a long gap between the time you're a graduate and the start of your role. And last of all, these agencies operate strict no drugs policy. So bear that in mind. This is a video created by MI5 about their graduate scheme. So again, I won't play it here due to time constraints, but I would highly recommend you to look in this video so that you know a bit more about what the expectations are and what the requirements are from MI5, and to hear about the experience that some of the graduates have had in the past few years. Again, due to time constraints, I'm not going to dwell too much into this, but just to reinforce the fact that diversity is very important in data science careers. This is just a case study to say that women are 47% more likely to be seriously injured when in a car incident, but car safety systems are predominantly designed with male data in mind. So it really shows that because of the differences anatomically between male and female, it's important to actually incorporate both male and female data when creating and when conducting such research. So moving on to talk about careers in research institutes, that includes the Aden Kwork Institute and institutes like the Wellcome Trust, Health Data Research UK, and the 11 or 12 research councils under UK Research and Innovation. So that includes, for example, Medical Research Council, the Engineering Physical Science Research Council, the Arts and Humanities Research Council, and Research England, for example. So these institutes operate across nations, so that means across the 4 developed nations in the UK, and they're generally independent research institutes, which are either formed by a range of universities or with the support of some funding from charities or funding from the government. These institutes have a diverse research portfolio. They include research into defense and security, or research into let's say food and security, healthcare, and also transport. A range of them that really depends. I'm sure there's something based on your interest. A lot of them do operate a flexible working policy and do offer competitive salaries and benefits. So worth looking into that. In terms of public service, I'm sure you'll be aware of the NHS. That's a very, very large workforce in the UK. There's also the civil service careers and the UK Health Security Agency, which I said was established during the pandemic. It was formerly known as the Public Health England. As these are very large workforces in the UK, it's about that there are a lot of there's a diverse range of research portfolio and diverse roles in these companies and organizations. You might be a data analyst, you might be a data scientist, you might be a software engineer. A lot of the roles that was shown on the screen just now. But all in all, a lot of these roles are there with the mission to advance healthcare and to improve lives. If that's something that you're passionate about, which, for example, I am, going to the public sector, going to an NHS or civil service would be a really, really good opportunity for you. And to also touch upon, just to summarize all the routes into academia and public sector. Here, just to name a few, so I've just grouped them into 4 of them: the graduate programs, internships, placements, academic roles, and direct entries or direct roles. On the 2 columns on the left there are usually more structured programs offered by the institutes and offered by the organizations that generally have a early application. So you might need to apply to those a few months in advance. Whereas for the academic roles and direct entry roles, which are listed on the right there, they're more like ad hoc roles that are vacancies that come up every so often. So those ones, you might subscribe to some of the notifications of these universities or companies, or you might just keep on looking on the website, or keep on looking on some of the job platforms to see whether or not every so often some of these roles might crop up and some of these roles might be of interest to you. And just look at time. So just, well, this is meant to be a slide activity, but I think we'll skip that for a bit. But it would be great if you just read that little case study there. I think you would all appreciate the fact that diversity is important, not only in careers of data science and AI, but also in the creation of any algorithm or the optimization of any algorithm. So here's just a case study or a fact just to say that although there are a lot of AI algorithms being created, a lot of these algorithms have not really incorporated sufficient or data from the population. So there's a lot of these have very poor accuracy, especially in subjects who are female, Black, and between 18 and 30 years old. So if you're entering the industry and you're going to be one of the members in developing or creating and optimizing these algorithms, it would really, really help if you bear that in mind and make sure that the system we have in place would really, really be representative of the wider population in the UK in terms of sex, ethnicity, race, social and economic status, any sort of strata that you can think of. So just to sort of end this presentation, we've been talking a lot about diversity across data science and AI. Well, I'm sure I hope you've appreciated that it's very important, and it's important because it would really attract people from that particular ethnic background or racial background or cultural background. For example, if you do see certain groups of people represented in that sector, you're more likely to enter that sector. As you, a lot of you mentioned on Slido, diversity of thoughts and experience is really important. There's a term called team science, which really highlights the fact that we really treasure people across disciplines and with different skills and experience. Each of us bring their own thoughts and skills into the project, into the research programs, and really benefit the research portfolio and really help, for example, advance healthcare and save lives. And I think that's all from me. I'll take a few questions, and after that, we'll move on to some of the sharing from alumni. Thank you very much. Any questions from the floor? I know I understand I've got to whistle stop through because of a bit of time. But yeah, any questions?
Got some anonymous questions on the.
Oh, really? Okay, that's good. Let me just. That's really good. Yeah, that's which is why we do have Slido. That's to make sure that we do have your voice, and we do appreciate that you would like to keep it anonymous. So let me just have a read. Okay, so is it worth doing a master's in data science? Well, I think as when I'm reading these questions out, I think some of the alumni may just bear these in mind, and you might talk about these later on as well. So, is it worth doing a master in data science? So, it's hard to say, but it really depends. It depends what your interest is, I would say. So, for example, my background is in biomedical science. Nothing about data, nothing about AI. But I did a master's in cancer informatics. It's not really data science, but it has the component of analyzing biomedical data. The reason I did that was when I was doing my bachelor's, all other courses apart from my course, biomedical science, had a programming or computing element to their course. And I only do pipetting and understanding these biological systems. So it made me wonder, there must be something important about doing programming and computing, but why am I not doing that? So I really wanted to explore that avenue, so that's why I sort of took a course somewhere in between biomedical science and data science, which I actually found very, very useful, and that's how I sort of moved on and progressed into my careers right now. So I think really based on your interest, and I think it's really worth talking with sort of peers and alumni about that. I think there'll be quite varied views and thoughts about that. What are the most effective ways to stand out when applying for data science positions without prior industry experience? Is personal projects or certifications? I would say it would be your own interest and what have you, the extra step that you have taken to show you are passionate and you're interested in this field. So, for example, you might have created your own personal project. It can be. You might have some connections and collaborations with sort of researchers within your institute, within your university, and you've sort of looked into doing, for example, like a summer experience with them, and you've gathered some thoughts. So that's some way to demonstrate that you're interested and passionate about your subject, and or perhaps wanting to know a bit more or find out a bit more, because I appreciate that not all of you in the audience come from a pure data science background. So you might come from, like, say, a math background, or engineering background, or similar to myself, my biological background. I'm just going to through does the institute endorse potential talents for global talent visa, and what are the process and requirements? Since Brexit, a lot of universities and institutes do sponsor visas, either work visa or global talent visa. it would be best if you look up the requirements for that, as there are requirements, for example, on the actual role, the salary threshold, and your background. So, for example, if I recall correctly, a global talent visa, for some streams, you might need a PhD to sort of speed things up a bit. But I'm not in a position of advising that, but I would recommend you to look it up. But I can reassure that a lot of organizations are indeed sponsoring visas. So I think that's the main concern for international students.
I know this question could come up from the students across, and I must say that the reason you have to search for, like I'm coming from the KCOM, and KCOM had defined that whom they are sponsored, and the word job portfolio is if they specify the job role gives you the salary of 37,000 annually, they can give you the sponsorship. But if it is less than 25,000, it is a criteria specific to the industry or specific to the organization. And you may apply after 2 years' time, I think, which is the tier 2, possibly, for students who can increase their placement or what you say, work visa or the student visa extension for their career. Okay.
Yeah, so if, my understanding is that for graduate visas, you do have 2 years after graduation to stay in the UK. So that might be an opportunity for you if you're unable to sort of switch to a tier 2 working visa, or have anything to add?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Something clipped on. Bear with me. Cool. Yeah, no, that's fine. We've got, so just to say, if anyone is worried about visas or thinking about the visa process once you graduate, there is a dedicated service at the university. So we have the International Engagement and Compliance team that can talk to you about your visa options post-study. So there is the graduate route visa, which is a 2-year period that you can work in the UK. But after that period, you would have to move to a skilled worker visa. So it's something you need to be aware of if you are an international student and applying for work, what that looks like and what you need to do, because a skilled worker visa has certain elements you need to hit in order to apply for jobs, etc. Every company is different. You can't say, certain companies will recruit in one way and certain companies might recruit in another. So if you're unsure, come and have a chat with us or have a chat with the visa team and we'll talk you through that on an individual basis. It's difficult to kind of give a scoping answer to that over everybody. That it's dependent on individual circumstances, etc. So come and have a chat with us if you need to. Okay. So Aden, thanks ever so much for your chat there. That's brilliant. Thanks ever so much. What we'll do then is we'll move on to the next part of the talk. So we're going to invite Georgia up to come and have a chat, if that's okay. So we'll do that. What we'll do is we'll do question and answers. So we'll then have Ansia to come and have a chat after that, and then we'll do some more questions and answers after that, if that's okay. So Georgia, if you want to come up, please. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kevin Pimblett, and I'm the Director of the Centre of Excellence for Data Science, Artificial Intelligence and Modelling, otherwise known as DAIM, here at the University of Hull. We run an MSc conversion course in Artificial Intelligence and Data Science here at the University of Hull. A conversion course takes in students from a wide variety of different backgrounds, not just STEM subjects, but arts and humanities and everything else in between. We upskill them in data science and artificial intelligence, and we do that through a series of bespoke modules, starting with Python programming in the first few weeks of trimester, leading into introductory materials in understanding artificial intelligence and the fundamentals of data science. We've just built a new building that you can see all around me. This is a £4.5 million investment by the University of Hull and a strategic decision to invest in artificial intelligence and data science for the long term. Here at the University of Hull, we offer the full breadth of artificial intelligence and data science. We have elective options in a range of different subjects, from ethics right through to AI in healthcare and a lot of others in between as well. We like to have our students on campus for one full day per week. That's from 9 AM right through to 6 PM. What this enables is for our students to manage their own time, so that if they have a job for which they might be going part-time, they can do it for the rest of the week, and therefore they can have that full day on campus learning and doing all the programming that they're required to do There are a variety of reasons why our students choose the University of Hull as their first choice for an MSc conversion course. Not only do we upskill our students within the areas of AI and data science, but also locally this is one of the best regions in which to study. Here at the University of Hull, we offer the widest variety of different training courses in AI and data science. We also offer bursaries that our students are able to apply for, so if you are female, black, disabled, or from a low socioeconomic background, as might be judged from the higher rate of student loan, and you are a UK citizen, resident, or settled status, then please do consider joining us.